What challenges did Roman frontier defense face over centuries? Imagine trying to guard a border that stretches thousands of miles across mountains, rivers, forests, and deserts. That was the task the Roman Empire faced for centuries. Their frontiers were not just lines on a map but complex zones filled with natural obstacles and diverse peoples. These natural features, like the Alps and the Rhine River, made it tough to move troops quickly or control crossings. Floods and harsh weather often damaged roads and forts, slowing down defenses when they were needed most. Dense forests, especially in Germania, hid enemy movements, making it hard for Roman patrols to spot threats early. Climate changes like droughts and cold spells also affected farming, reducing food supplies for soldiers and local populations. This made long-term defense even harder. The Roman system relied heavily on a network of forts, watchtowers, and walls. Notable structures like Hadrian's Wall in Britain and the Limes Germanicus along the Rhine and Danube helped keep watch over large areas. These fortifications served as bases for soldiers, places to store supplies, and signals for incoming threats. But these defenses were not continuous walls blocking every inch. Instead, they were a series of strategic points and strongholds, which meant the Romans needed good roads and communication lines to coordinate their efforts. When these lines broke down or were stretched too thin, defending the borders became much more difficult. Manpower was always a challenge. The Roman Empire had to station enough soldiers along these vast borders to stop invasions and raids. Even with disciplined and well-trained troops, it was impossible to cover every vulnerable spot at once. Many forts were underpopulated or lacked enough soldiers to patrol effectively. The Romans mostly relied on a defensive approach, building strong forts and hoping that their presence would scare off enemies. Over time, they became less able to project power beyond the borders, focusing more on protecting what they already had. This shift made their frontiers more vulnerable to surprise attacks. Economic and political issues also played a big role. Maintaining large armies and building forts was expensive. As the empire faced internal conflicts and economic troubles, funds for frontier defense shrank. This meant fewer troops, weaker defenses, and slower responses to threats. When resources were tight, the empire struggled to keep its borders secure, leaving gaps that enemies could exploit. In the end, defending the Roman frontiers was a constant balancing act. The vast geography, natural obstacles, logistical hurdles, limited manpower, and economic strains all combined to make border security a tough job. The Romans had to be smart about where they placed their forts, how they moved their troops, and how they managed their resources. Despite these challenges, their efforts kept the empire largely intact for many centuries, but the difficulties they faced grew more intense over time.